Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and in-betweeners. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Alexander Rodriguez, here for On the Rocks radio show, where celebrities and cocktails mix. Tonight, we celebrate activists, actors, music, and mayhem with our handsome Omar Sharif Jr. And direct from New York City, we have cabaret and MAC Awards winner Rick Skye. We have a live performance by singer-songwriter Charlene Modeste. And visiting from the Big Apple today, from Pink Banana Media, we have President Matt Skallerud. Skallerud.
That's good.
Woo! Woohoo! Already. Cocktails and celebrities mixing. And my boy crush every day, socialite and musician, Jaems Paul Gusse. So many weird pronunciations today. So let's raise a glass, join in the chat, let the games begin.
Thank you for being
Boulevard.
Life is a banquet, and most poor suckers are starving to death.
I'd like to propose a toast.
This is On the Rocks with Alexander, coming at you from Sunset Gower Studios in the heart of Hollywood, where I drink with your favorite celebrities and we talk about fashion, entertainment, pop culture, reality TV, and that's about it. So pop a cork, pour a glass, lean back, and enjoy On the Rocks every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Universal Broadcasting Network.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
It is going to be a bumpy night. Listen to that applause. I mean, that applause is for real. It's real canned, y'all. I'm just obsessed with today's show. We have a little something for everyone. As usual, Chris, you're going to have to gay it up today. Sorry. Another one. And to my panel, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. Prepare the sexual harassment suits now because, you're all so gorgeous. Hello to our listeners around the nation on iHeartRadio, Universal Broadcasting Network, Player FM, Spreaker, Stitcher, TuneIn, Satchel, iTunes, Google Play, YouTube Live for the first time today. And, of course, we are on Facebook Live, on Hillcrest Social in San Diego, True FM in Ohio, and nationally on Reverie Network, and Bear World Magazine, RAR. Check out my interviews, movie reviews, and movie news Mondays in Bear World Magazine. This week I wrote about Jake Gyllenhaal is being viewed as the next Batman. Why? Why? He always has those watery eyes. He's like the Amy Adams of men, where they're just like always crying about something. I've never been think that he's like hunky. Yes? No?
No.
You guys can talk. It is a radio show.
He's a handsome man.
Yeah, but people swoon over him and there's fan pages and I just don't see it.
He fits a type.
What type?
Well, you just
like the Amy Adams of men.
There
Yeah,
you go.
like people go gaga over Amy Adams.
Brokeback Mountain type.
Well, he was okay in Brokeback Mountain. I saw Brokeback Mountain, and I didn't really know how graphic it was because I was in Orange County at the time. So I went with my mom and my grandma, and I sat in between them. Oh, my grandma. She was like, "Hey!" when things were happening. It was a little uncomfortable. Let's just put the popcorn down real fast. Also in casting news, Jude Law is playing the young Dumbledore in Fantastic Beasts 2. I hope there's some Professor Snape, Dumbledore fan fiction happening in the next film. No. Oh my God. For our audio listeners, you can check out our video stream on Facebook and now the Hillcrest Social app with all of the On the Rocks video streaming for free. Download the app today. They have tons of concert giveaways, product giveaways, and fun stuff, so check that out. Coming up, we have international musician, Chris, this is for you, Z Lala. She's gorgeous. Oh, is she your girl?
She is my girl.
All right. Mm-hmm. Well, she performed at Palm Springs Pride where I was MC, and so, yeah. Jake Busey, son of iconic Gary Busey, is coming in to chat about the Predator reboot that he's doing. His dad was in the original Predator. He's doing the reboot, and of course, he was in Starship Troopers. American Horror Stories, Erica Irving is coming in. We have boy band Echo V coming in. TV's fashion stylist Lauren Zarian, and the Bravo Boys, Craig Ramsey and Brandon Liberati are back. Actress Adrienne Barbeau is coming in to chat about her career in horror films, and she's kind of on a resurgence. She also played B. Arthur's daughter in Maude. You don't even know what we're talking about. Oh, God. Whoop, whoop. And for you, TV Land classic lovers, we have one of the original actors from Happy Days, as well as Little House on the Prairie, coming in. They're going to share the same episode, so TV Land people, rejoice. My mom, Mama Rose, is in the chat room on ubnradio.com and Facebook Live. She's answering all your questions. Omar, she wanted to say hello to you.
Hi, Mom.
Yes. She put her vodka down for that second. Ask her your questions. If it's a burning question, she's going to let me know, and we will ask it on the show, but keep her busy, otherwise she's going to get wasted, and I'm going to have a new baby daddy. Hello to our engineer, Chris. Chris, you let your hair down today. Literally, let your hair down. Yes. I got this email from a listener. They want to know what your favorite time of day to smoke the ganja is.
all time.
Do people say ganja? I'm so not with the pot.
Ganja.
Ganja?
It's, we know what you mean.
Nobody says the pot.
My mom says hashish, and I'm like,
It's like
come on,
the
Mom.
reefer.
Yeah, so what do you say now?
Like the weed cigarettes and shit.
No, but like when you say, hey, you want to smoke some...
Pot.
Pot?
Take a toke.
Like, bro, you trying to smoke? Like, that's about
No, but you do not want me to smoke. That's what
Like,
you...
that's all you got to say, though. Like,
You just want to smoke? But what if they're like, yes, I want to smoke? No?
Yeah.
Chris is looking at me like this. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Like us on Twitter and Instagram at On The Rocks on air, on the web, ontherocksradioshow.com. Send me an email. Book me for a wedding, funeral, quinceanera, bris. I don't care. I will be there. Info at ontherocksradioshow.com.
That would be.
I put the fun into funeral. I will let you know. I used to be a cantor at a Catholic church. Yeah. Oh, Chris. Chris is jumping in.
You want it closer to my mouth.
Yeah, insert joke here. There we go. But I used to be a cantor at funerals, and I hate to say it, it was good money. Because you sang the same 8 songs at every funeral, and then you'd get a check for a lot of money. But it's tough to sit through. Anyway. On the Rocks is coming to you. Holidays are here. December 3rd, On the Rocks radio show will be in Palm Springs for Sanctuary Palm Springs Holiday Gala. Sanctuary is the LGBT foster home in Palm Springs, and I will be there with Golden Globe winner Joanna Cassidy, who was on the show a couple of weeks ago. And Chris, you had such a crush on her. So I'm going to be hanging out with her and open bar. That's going to be fun. Broadway singer Julie Garnier will be performing. It's held at Spencer's Bougainvillea Room at 5 p.m. So if you want to join me, be there December 3rd. Go to sanctuarypalmsprings.org to get your tickets. I'm sure we'll do a live stream or something. But you can't go wrong with Joanna Cassidy. We have such a good time. The first NFL team to officially endorse an LGBT organization is here, and On the Rocks will be on the scene. The Chargers, that have just moved to LA from San Diego, have partnered with Venice Pride, and we are doing a viewing party on December 16th, the venue to be announced shortly. I will be there, and we're working on having our first ever LGBT night at an NFL game. That'll be interesting. I actually love football. Believe it or not, I have the jerseys. I watch the games. I definitely eat the food. I know the players. I know the players mostly when they're like turned away from me. I'm like, oh yeah, and not because of the name on the back. So if you're in the area for December 16th in LA area, come out and have some fun with us. Also, back to Palm Springs, February 8th through 12th. Reason I'm telling you so early is to book your vacation for 5 days. I'm going to be your official host for IBC, the International Bear Convergence at Hard Rock Hotel. They're building a little poolside booth for On the Rocks. I'm going to be broadcasting live 5 days.
Wow.
Yikes, I cannot wait.
What is IBC?
It's International Bear Convergence.
Okay.
So bears from around the world, not even the nation, the world. And of course, to our straight ally listeners, a bear is a husky man with hair. They also come in smaller sizes, like an otter. What else is there? A badger.
That's one I haven't heard before.
Oh, it's a pushy bottom otter.
Okay.
Look at Chris is on it today.
It is.
Yes, got to keep you awake. So no, there's bears, cubs. A cub is just a younger bear, right?
And so just a bunch of bears coming together for one weekend.
Yes, and so Bear World TV is going to be there. So a lot of hosts of their shows. There's a cooking show. There's a travel show. But it's also workshops and parties and we're going to be doing celebrity interviews. Some bear celebrities will be coming by.
I spent a lot of time in Guerneville.
Oh, you know about the bears then?
Yeah, I had a piece of property up there.
Guerneville, eh?
Guerneville,
So you know all about the
Guerneville.
ganja.
Oh yeah.
I was up there.
Yeah, that was my childhood. Well, that childhood and bears. That was a separate category right there.
Yeah, I would hope so. No, but the Russian River, right?
The Russian River. I
fell into the Russian River.
We had a
lovely.
piece of property, a family property, so we would go there, just go camping every couple of weeks basically, and then I was not aware what a bear was, and then I learned, and then here I am sitting next to you.
You saw them in their native habitat.
Oh, they're happy in Guerneville. They're like bathing in the sun. They're not trying to cinch into skinny jeans up there. They're like, look at it.
Yeah.
They are wild there. They're not domesticated like they are in Palm Springs.
No hibernating.
They fancy in Palm Springs. They do this with their Cosmopolitan. In Guerneville, they're like, pour me the beer. Just like out of the barrel. I don't drink beer, so I don't know if it even comes in a barrel.
Brokeback Mountain. They don't even bother saying you want to go up and go fishing.
Yeah.
They're already
no, that's
there.
like, yeah. I'm like,
You want to go swipe a fish?
oh God, my grandma's like, whoa, what's happening? Omar Sharif Jr., have you ever dated a bear, cub, or scruff?
No, but you know what? I did go to Bear Week in Provincetown
You
once.
did?
I did, but like walking against the crowd of bears, I just felt like a piece of salmon.
Yeah. Right, because they're
Anything
trying to
about to be
catch you
plucked,
upstream?
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and in Provincetown, the bears are not really bears. They're like bear light, right? Because it's Provincetown. Everybody's skinny in these little shorts.
They wouldn't say that.
No?
No, they take offense to that.
Oh.
They feel like they're real bears up there.
In Provincetown?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and their bed and breakfast. Real great. Let me formally introduce our co-host for today, Jaems Paul Gusse.
Gussie. I swear.
Okay, no, this is why, because you spell your name like some, like, Tolkien fairy, by the way. James is Jaems, right? And then your last name is Gusse. I thought it was Goosey, like juicy, but it's not. It's Gussie, like...
Well, that is
Fussy.
my legal
Fussy Gussie.
last name, so get used to it.
All right, well, your drag name is Fussy Gussie, right?
No, it was Frosty Diamond.
I don't even know what's happening. Omar Sharif was like, who booked me for this one? James is an established San Francisco artist currently based in Southern California. From an early age, James was obsessed with culture, the arts, and performance. Since the age of 16, he has been an independent force in the entertainment and hospitality industry. His current projects include running social media for Ash WeHo, now celebrating for 1 year anniversary tonight, at the Abbey, stage management at Viva Hollywood's new Voss events Drag Queen Brunch, which has all the popular drag queens, and it's packed.
Yeah.
And it's downtown. Like,
Yeah.
for anything packed in downtown, gay is pretty big.
Well,
'cause
it's
I don't go to
Hollywood. It's
downtown.
the first time I've ever seen that in Hollywood. So
Yeah.
very exciting.
Also, the launch of a brand new restaurant concept in Culver City. And all the while, he's continued to create new music, and I actually stole a little piece of one of your performances. To create new music and artist projects of his own. His end goal is to have a career breaking the barriers of the performance industry, giving a voice to the disheartened. I feel a little disheartened after a few glasses of vodka. Bringing light and love to the broken parts of society, and some men's, I'm assuming, and offering as many opportunities to those who have a similar passion to share with the world. He is so extra, like I said, he spells his name Jaems. Fussy Gussie. Welcome to the show, James.
Thank you so much.
Our other guest co-host for today, Matt Skallerud.
It's me.
Yeah, because you say your name so fast, because you like getting to the point.
I know.
President of Pink Banana Media, visiting from New York, by the way, specializes in LGBT online marketing, targeting gay and lesbian businesses via contact marketing, social media, programmatic ad banners, mobile smartphone apps, and more. You can tell I'm so bad at like social media and all that. Remember our first conversation? You were like talking. I was like, what language is he speaking? He also specializes, it gets better, in search engine optimization, keyword search advertising, PPC, and social media analytics. He's been in the LGBT online industry for over 20 years now. We know it's evolving, and we're going to talk about that. Yeah. He began his career in 1995 with the launch of GayWired.com. Remember GayWired? You weren't even born yet, probably. Which became one of the top 3 LGBT websites worldwide, having worked with companies large and small for over 20 years to reach the LGBT online consumer through his site and others, is now focused on the most cutting-edge global innovations in the market, using advanced technologies that we're going to talk about because I have no clue. I'm still trying to use Friendster. Do you remember Friendster?
I do.
I remember when AOL used to give you a disc. Why do I keep you looking over here? Used to give you a disc that you would load up.
Welcome.
Yes.
You've got mail.
And his clients, including real-time ad bidding, RTB. Like, do you have to take a, like... Oh my God.
You were supposed to read the whole thing.
I did read it, and I didn't understand it. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, blogs, and others. In addition, he's the former board chairman of the International Gay and Lesbian Travel Association. I've been to many of those events. So fun. And has served on the boards of Travel Gay Canada and the Los Angeles Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce. He's actively involved with key national LGBT organizations, including NGLCC, and that's the National Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce, and Lambda Legal, just to name a few. I have no idea when you sleep. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Oh, I thank you.
So you guys are going to help me keep it all together.
We will.
We're going to talk about your careers, and we're going to get to know you a little bit. But first, we have somebody from New York City, and so we need to let him get some rest because he's been waiting there patiently. Rick Skye, you guys, is a multi-award winning performer who has enjoyed success both on Broadway and the West End. Training with the Joffrey Ballet and the famed Stella Adler, he has toured the U.S. with Anne Reiking from, Anne Reagan, like the dancer, like Fosse's girl. Sandy Duncan in the American Dance Machine Show, and in the Kennedy Center production of Miss Liberty. He acted with Dorothy Loudon, who played the original Miss Hannigan, by the way, in Annie, in a role written especially for him. He danced in Merlin with Nathan Lane and Cheetah Rivera, and appeared with Cheetah Rivera in Bring Back Birdie, which is the Bye Bye Birdie Part 2, by the way. It's pretty awesome. He did a stint on All My Children, and his friendship with Neil Sedaka led to his writing and starring in The Flip Side of Neil Sedaka, a tribute with a twist, which got him nominated as Best Newcomer by the Manhattan Association of Cabarets. So when we say Mac, that's it. His hit show, A Slice of Manelli, has enjoyed successful seasons at the Apollo Theatre in London's West End, the Dublin and Edinburgh festivals, and from cities from New York to Chicago. Critics have called it masterful, astonishing, brilliant, and it has earned him the 2017 award for Best Impersonation. It's appeared on Watch What Happens Live with our friend Andy Cohen and Celebrity Apprentice, as well as Fox and Friends, and the WB. Currently, he's hosting a reoccurring monthly variety show, Bazzazz, a sequin variety. Bazzazz, like that's a name. Like I'm a little jealous I didn't think of Bazzazz. Please welcome to the show Rick Skye from New York City! Woo! How are you, Rick? Rick?
Yes.
Oh, I thought I was talking to Marley Matlin. Okay.
I couldn't hear you for a second.
Yeah, no. It's okay. Consider yourself lucky. My voice is very, very high. How are things going in New York City?
Hot and cold and hot and cold and hot and cold.
And that's just the audience. Ba-dum-bum. Yeah. Oh, God. Rick is like, I can't do this. I am so obsessed with your biography and with your resume, performing with huge names from Broadway. Do you get starstruck at this point anymore, or you just kind of go with the flow?
No, I'm really bad at it. I do. And I'm one of the people I have less photos with celebrities than any person I know, because I think they sense that I'm so nervous and so, I think they think I'm strange. So they usually shoo me away a little bit, and then everybody, some little girl will take a picture with them. But I even went to see Cheetah Rivera at the Carlisle Hotel this year. And I know her, and my friend got a picture with her, and I kept saying like, "Oh no, that's okay, that's all right, I don't want to bother you." So I'm not really good with them at all, no.
But it's funny because you actually had a run-in with Carol Channing when you were in the audience as a little kid, right?
Actually, I used to do the show with Madam. I used to do the puppet Madam and toured around with her, and I went to a radio show, and she was in the lobby. And the night before, it was so strange, the night before I had found this little plastic ring that she had thrown into the audience when I was a little kid singing Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. And I told her that story when I met her. I said, I have this ring and I found it last night. And she said, "Oh, was that you?"
That's such a great story. And that really shows your career coming full circle. Tell me about performing this monthly show at Don't Tell Mama, which I love Don't Tell Mama, by the way. Oh, Charlene, I forgot. I was in New York probably, 3 years ago? And I went for one night to see Patti LuPone, and I flew back the next morning. I literally flew there for one night. And my friend Charlene, who's here in the studio, came out, and we went out for a night of it, and it was 4 a.m, and Don't Tell Mama had closed because it were closed. Well, they didn't close for us, and we ended up getting on stage. But they were so nice, and we had such a good time because all the Broadway people go there after the shows and tie one off.
Yeah, it's a really great sort of legendary place on 46th Street, and through the years, everyone's dropped in to sing a song, and it's continuing that tradition right now. So I was really lucky. They came and they asked me in September. I used to do a show there called Judy and Liza Together Again.
Yes,
that was supposed to run for 3 weeks. And every month they kept saying, "Do you want to do another? Do you think you should do another month?" And we did it for 7 years.
Oh my God.
Wow. So it was just a big touristy hit. And then, so they came to me after we closed in June. They came to me in September and said, Saturday nights really aren't much fun here without a big sort of Liza show in the back. So would you put together a variety show for us? And I did, and it's really been great. So for opening night was great on October 27th. We had a Peggy Lee person, Chuck Sweeney, who's hilarious, and David Mayoko does Liberace and stuff. So it was a really big, old-fashioned kind of variety show with special material and all that.
You know, that's so good to hear because, like, the old-fashioned theater-going experience just doesn't exist, especially in L.A. Any piano bar, unless you're Rockwell, just kind of closes up after a while. And it's like this whole population has no idea what that piano bar experience is like, where you can see a great performer in an intimate space, telling stories, having fun, drinking too much, and, you know, and then you get to see your local impersonator.
Well, the thing about that is that you can't go to a school to learn how to do that. So there have to be clubs that people can perform in over and over and over again for years and years and years. Otherwise, you really don't get the tricks and the things that you need to hold an audience for, you know, an hour by yourself and keep it interesting and all of that. You just, you know, it's nice to see young performers who get up and have nice voices and that. But to really see, like, the old greats like Eartha Kitt and people like that had, you know, years and years of special material and audience goodwill and, you know, albums and, you know, Batman and all those things that she did. You know, you need some experience there. So we're trying to get guests that have been performing for many, many years so that the whole show sort of blows them out of the water.
Now, Rick, one of the questions I got from one of your fans to the show was, how do you keep the show fresh time after time after time? Because you've been doing your Liza impersonation for a while, but your audience has come back for more and more and more, and you keep it fresh. How do you do that as a performer?
It's very strange, but I've had people have come like 30 times.
Yeah.
30 times. And, you know, I have my regular seat. Here I am in the front row. And I'm like, okay, if you could take it. But I think it's just that I believe it so much. I'm in it every second. I'm just believing what I'm doing. And I just keep writing new material, you know, more and more and more. But sometimes I think if you just create this framework and you repeat it and repeat it and repeat it honestly, then it gets deeper and deeper. And so I've done songs that I've been singing for 15 years, and some nights I'll say, wow, you know, tonight I found a new joke in there. Tonight I found a new, wow, did you hear the way they responded to that? Or I said that totally differently tonight. So I think I'm just a show business person. I'm just a show person, and that excites me, like trying to find for myself what I want every show to be great, so.
If it's in your blood, it's in your blood. Am I right, Mr. Omar Sharif Jr.?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, please, you can find it, but it's there. Yes. Now, Rick, we all love Liza. Of course, we all love Liza. For those of us that remember who Liza is.
Thanks again.
Yes. I went on a date, and the kid didn't even know who Judy Garland was. I ended that date so quickly. I was like, I don't care how cute you are. I don't care. I couldn't. But we all love Liza. Her ups, her downs. We love her even more for. What made you choose Liza to encapsulate for a large portion of your life?
But see, it sort of picked me. I wrote a big review in like the year 2000 that had 5 people in it, and they all had 5 parts to play. So they were on stage or back to clothes. And I had written this funny song about Liza, and nobody could do it because they were all changing their clothes and getting ready for the next thing. So I sort of said, all right, I'll do it. Okay, so I plunked a wig on my head and I put red lipstick and I went out, and it stopped the show. And then I did it for 9 months, and when that show was over, people kept saying, would you do it at my comedy show? Would you come to this comedy club and do that number?
You're sounding a bit like Liza right now.
We're losing the connection just a bit. Are you there now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. There we go. It was Judy stopping by to say hi. Yeah.
Yeah. So then so someone gave me some advice and said, I think you should do a whole evening of this and see what happens. And I kind of reluctantly did it. And then it took off from there. Every time I say I'm not doing more, some great offer comes in. I went to London. I played at an 800-seat theater. I played in Covent Garden for 10 days. It was just, you know, like that. I'm not doing it anymore. Great. Someone wants me to come to Scotland. Okay, I'm not doing it anymore. Somebody wants me to do a show on 46th Street. You know, it's crazy. So sometimes I think you just should walk through the door that's open, you know, for you. So I just keep saying yes whenever the opportunity arises.
Now, with the makeup, the lights, the late nights, the audiences, the autographs, all, you know, appearances, how do you keep up your stamina? What are some tricks you have?
I don't really have to keep it up. I think I'm a very sort of nervous person. And I have been since I was a little kid. I was nervous to go to school, and I was nervous to go home, and I was nervous to everything I did. So I just have a lot of energy anyway. And actually performing is a way. You don't want to know me if I'm not performing. performing. Let's
Oh,
put it,
all right.
if all that builds up, I need a place to sort of let it out. And so if I'm not doing a show, I'm sort of inflicting that on all my friends, and they prefer when I'm in a show.
Well, no, but that is funny because we're all in the industry, and when we're off, we are off. Mm-hmm. You should see me after this show, right, Chris? Am I right? Oh God.
So right.
Yeah. What is one outstanding story you have? You shared the stage with so many legends. What is one outstanding star story?
Star story. Oh my God.
Did Nathan Lane try to grope you?
I'm trying to think. My favorite star story, actually, it's not even a big thing, but I was working at the Hotel Carlisle, and Laurence Olivier was getting an award that night. So it's not even a performance story, but he got out of a cab, and he could barely walk because he had arthritis, and his wife was Joan Plowright, the actress.
Oh, yes. And
I always said, and she lived up to her name. She plowed right past him. And said, I'm going upstairs. You take too long. And she kind of threw him at me and said, you take care of him. So I had to walk him to the elevator. Like I was getting ready to go on stage. I had to walk him to the elevator. And I got to the elevator, and he looked at me with these big, these blue eyes. And he said, you're a very fine young man. Oh. Thank you. And he got in the elevator and kind of went up. And everybody thinks he was making a pass at me, but he wasn't.
Yeah,
he was just a lovely gentleman.
Yes.
But I meant Laurence Olivier.
That's awesome. I mean, I wouldn't even be able to speak. Shirley Jones was on the show, and I literally could not speak. I was like, Shirley, for like an hour. And she was like, good stuff. All right, Rick, we play a little game here called Rapid Fire, and you are our first victim. Are you ready?
Yes.
If you could have performed any lead in any past Broadway show, which lead role would it have been?
In The King and I, Yul Brynner's part.
That is the least answer I get for that question.
It's a great man's part. They don't really write big star men's parts, so it's a big men's part.
That's so interesting. That's a first for the show. Okay, your most listened to musical recording from start to finish.
I would say it's got to be Judy at Carnegie Hall.
Yes. Oh God, if I could go back in time and watch any show live, it would be it. Actually, I'd be backstage because I'm sure backstage was more entertaining than what was on stage. Your after show binge food, and this is my favorite question because I certainly have mine.
Would be
and don't say
it's
Xanax.
Like Chinese food and Gatorade.
Chinese food and Gatorade. That's my hangover food. It's Panda Express and, Pedialyte, so I guess it's the same. It's so awesome. I think I'm kidding. When you see the Panda Express Uber Eats come by, you know Papa's had a rough night. Rick, Skye, who is your celebrity crush?
Ooh, Ricky Martin.
Ooh, good choice.
You forget about him, but he's good.
Oh no, he's in the new Versace show with Ryan Murphy. It's gonna blow people's minds. Oh God, and he's sexy like in any stage, whether he's on Broadway in Evita, whether he's like 5 years ago. Who's Ricky Martin? He was still sexy, and now he's blowing up all over again. Yeah. What is the most overrated musical in your opinion?
The one with the girl who wears the pink suit. What's that thing?
The Wendy Williams show.
She wants to be a lawyer and she's too
Legally
stupid.
Blonde.
Oh, Legally Blonde, yeah.
You know what? I have to kind of agree. Not my favorite. Not my favorite. Although I think Sideshow is a little overblown too.
Yeah. I didn't like Les Mis either. I'm the only one, but I didn't like her.
But they were on a round table. They were doing cardio while singing. Rick, Skye, how can people find out what night you're playing? Where can they find out more information about you and your show?
If they just go to Don't Tell Mama NYC, all the shows are listed there. Or they could go to ricksky.com or my Facebook page. Rick Skye has every minute there's something going by about when we're performing. So, and we're monthly at Don't Tell Mamas. So anytime they're in New York, they should just check us out.
Perfect, and that's Rick Skye, Skye. So look up Rick Skye, and also look up his YouTube. In fact, we're going to take a little sneak peek at one of your audience candid YouTube performances.
Ugh, I bet I look fat.
YouTube adds 10 pounds. Don't worry about it. Rick Skyy, what a pleasure. I'm going to be coming out to New York at the end of January. My good friend Joan Ryan, she was in the original cast of Ruthless.
Yeah.
She's coming back to New York with her one-woman show, and I'm going to be there. So I'm going to stop
great.
by and see you.
Let's go together.
Yeah,
Oh, I love it.
definitely. Rick Skyy, what a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, I can't wait to have you back for more stories.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at Rick Skyy on stage. And this is a candid audience video. So, yeah. Okay, let's take a look.
Maybe this time I'll be lucky. Maybe this time he'll stay. Maybe this time, for the first time, love won't hurry away. He will hold me fast. I'll be home at last. Not a loser anymore like the last time and the time before. Everybody loves a winner, so nobody loves me. Let it be peaceful, let it happy. That's what I long to be.
All right, so that is the quiet version of what he does. But what I love is that, there's so many Liza impersonators out there. I do Liza impersonation every Friday night, yes, right? But it's not just like a cheap impersonation. He captures her subtle stuff, and he's singing as himself, but through her mannerisms and her voice, which I really like. And you have to see some of his fun stuff. He also has a viral video where he's dancing through the streets of New York. So go see Rick Skyy. We need to kick the show into second gear. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Tesloop. Tesloop is the only way to travel from LA to Palm Springs to San Diego to Orange County in a luxury Tesla, by the way. No, not yet, Chris. You're getting all excited over there. Tesloop, literally, though, it's so affordable. It's less than an Uber, and you ride in your own Tesla. You get snacks. You get your own private little pod. You don't have to talk to anybody if you don't want to, and I love it. Go to Tesloop.com. They have about 4 routes leaving per day. They drive me to Palm Springs. They drive me to and back, and I couldn't be more thankful for that. The road thanks you, sweetie. All right. Panache Optical Gallery. They do all of the celebrity custom-made sunglasses, eyeglasses. They do James Bond frames. They did my Betty Davis replicas. Gorgeous. Their shop is in Palm Springs, but look them up on panacheopticalgallery.com. And of course, our tried and true sponsor from day one, 4 years in the making, a little dab will do you, Spunk Lube. Go to spunklube.com, get your bottle today. Gay, straight, in between. We all need a little rev up sometime. And I love the sponsor because it's literally, it's a business owner who's working against major corporations, and he's been such a fan and helper of the show. So support him if you need to. All right. Okay, we're gonna kick this into second gear. Like I said, I want to start this off with my friend Charlene Modeste is visiting, kind of in a way. Charlene Modeste is an accomplished singer-songwriter, an actress who has an impressive background that spans the creative mediums of film, television, theater, and music. A Brooklyn native of Caribbean descent, she's a multi-talented force of nature and a favorite at local venues in the L.A. Area. She's an Ovation Award winner, LA Weekly Award winner for her stage work. Her guitar is self-taught from YouTube, by the way, and she can effortlessly move through any musical genre that she sets her mind to, and I have been witness to it over the years. The last chapter in her life hasn't been the easiest, from losing both her parents to most recently losing her home in the fires of Northern California. She is resilient, she is optimistic, and she is fabulous. I have never seen somebody go through so much in a year, and she's still like, hey, what's up? I'm like, girl, I get a paper cut. My life is over. But this song has a special meaning for us because it was a dance hit, and then it's kind of transformed over the years. And every time I see you, I could see you like in New York. I'm like, can you sing that song?
Yes, you are.
So you're here to do the acoustic version to really get this evening going. What's the title of the song? Because I love it.
The name of the song is called Come On. And I'll go through the hook for you.
Yeah.
It goes, come on if you want to, and I know you're going to want to. Show me how you're going to want to. Come on if you're going to want to. Come on. So whenever you feel inclined, please join in.
It literally took me a whole year on listening to it on repeat, and then I finally got it, and I got one of the words wrong. And I was so proud. Like, look, Charlene. Charlene, I'm so excited that you're here. Not the reason why you're here, but I'm excited that you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
All right.
LA feels like home.
Yes. It feels like home when you're here. Oh, that's the nicest I'll ever be, by the way. Take it away, Charlotte.
Okay. So you say you wanna take me there, through the city lights onto the scene, where we can dance without a care. Come in closer and show me what you mean. I might say yes or change my mind. I'm curious to know your kind. I think you're fly, you think I'm hot. Tonight's the night you get your shot. You get your shot. I'm giving you a shot. I'm giving you a shot. Hey, come on if you wanna, and I know you're gonna wanna show me how you're gonna wanna. Come on if you're gonna wanna, come on. Come on if you wanna, and I know you're gonna wanna show me how you're gonna wanna. Come on if you're gonna wanna, come on. Come on if you wanna, and I know you're gonna wanna show me how you're gonna wanna. Come on if you're gonna wanna, come on. Come on. Come on if you wanna, and I know you're gonna wanna show me how you're gonna wanna. Come on if you're gonna wanna, come on. Feel the beat, hear the sound, let the rhythm move you around. Me in this dance, take a chance, it might lead to a little romance. Here on the floor, give me more. This dance is ease, music's the cure. As we sweat in this sweat, all aglow and dripping wet. Please turn me loose, watch me shine and coming close. Take your time, step by step, turn by turn. If you wanna teach and I wanna learn how to ride this groove as we move. Sometimes it's one, sometimes it's two. Hip to hip, side to side, let's make this dance a magic ride. Eye to eye, toe to toe, come on and show me what you know. Enchanted by the rhythm spell, we come together and fit so well. Eyes lock and stare, a mood appears, music's the magic in the air. Music's the magic in the air. Come on if you wanna, and I know you're gonna wanna show me how you're gonna wanna. Come on if you're gonna wanna, come on. Come on if you wanna, and I know you're gonna wanna show me how you're gonna wanna. Come on if you're gonna wanna, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
You guys, my favorite all-time song. And once you learn it, it is in your head. Come on if you want to know you're going to want to. You're going to want to come on if you're going to want to come on.
Yeah,
Boom.
it sticks.
Boom.
It sticks to you.
It's been, what, like 5 years? 10 years? God, I look good.
Well, almost 10. Almost 10.
Yeah. Please also welcome to the show a man who, in his young years, has accomplished so much. I've been after him forever to be on the show, and he's finally moved to LA, and it's possible. Omar Sharif Jr. Was given his name by his iconic grandfather, part of Hollywood royalty, with maternal grandparents who were Holocaust survivors and paternal grandparents who were famous actors. Of course, he's going to have a vibrant, colorful life, but we had no idea how colorful until time went on. As a child, he went between his birthplace of Montreal, Paris, and Cairo, just like any youth. He obtained a master's degree in comparative politics from the London School of Economics at Queen's University by the age of 23. And he kind of lived his life as an irresponsible socialite a little bit. Whoops. Which is my favorite part, by the way. The smart Paris Hilton, but with talent too. But I love Paris Hilton. Don't get me wrong. He also garnered considerable attention from his international ads and campaigns for Calvin Klein, Coca-Cola, as well as his celebrity relationships. He was offered a role in an Egyptian TV series in 2007, which kind of piqued his interest in the industry. And at the 83rd Annual Academy Awards, one of the most charming moments on stage, he performed a comedic sketch with screen legend Kirk Douglas, and we have some pictures of that. Just so amazing, and when you see the generations of Hollywood royalty come together, it gives you the chills. In 2012, Omar published an open letter in The Advocate, and he came out as gay, which really questioned what was happening in the new Egyptian government with what was going on with respects to human rights and diversity. He is the first public personality to ever come out as an openly gay man in the Arab world. Immediately faced death threats, condemnation, and he actually had to leave his home upbringing. He hasn't been back since. From 2013 to 2015, he served as the Eastern National spokesperson for GLAAD, an organization which serves to promote LGBT equality by ensuring positive media portrayals of the gay, lesbian, and trans community. Gents, and sorry ladies, he is listed among Attitude Magazine's Bachelors of 2017, and the pictures are gorgeous, by the way. And most recently, he appeared in the movie The Secret Scripture, a deeply moving film with Vanessa Redgrave, Rooney Mara, Eric Bana, and Theo James, by the way.
Right.
Yeah. I am so privileged and honored to welcome Mr. Omar Sharif Jr.
Thank you for having me. But could I just say, Charlene, you're so fucking talented.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Oh my god. Yeah, you can't even speak after a performance like that.
Oh, thank you.
And I tell you, she can sing Etta James, she can
goodness.
sing Tina Turner, she can sing like a German beer song, and you're like, wow. But seriously, and then you taught yourself on YouTube.
It started at YouTube, and I had some personal teachers as well. But yeah, YouTube started it.
I can't even learn like a Pinterest type thing on YouTube, like those life hacks. Forget it. I can't even do that. But it's this spirit. And Omar, that's probably what you're picking up, is the spirit that you just overcome adversity. And Omar, there's so many interviews with you in so many different outlets, and from international outlets to U.S. outlets. So I'm not going to ask you the same questions that you've been asked.
Thank you.
Yes. So my first question is, when you've been asked the same questions over and over about your coming out story, which is so dramatic and scary, but highly motivating for a lot of youth. Is it hard? Is it easy to get lost behind the persona of who Omar Sharif Jr. has become, the spokesman for equality, the spokesperson for coming out in youth, for coming out in a conservative environment? Is it hard to lose like who you really are, like you kicking on back on the sofa and watching Housewives?
A little bit, like even today we're doing this radio show, and I'm sort of afraid to even say my full opinions and full views, because I know that anything I say will be taken back in the Middle East as the person who represents the LGBT community, and my opinion will be cast upon the entire population of Egypt. So if I say something inappropriate, if I make a crude joke, all of a sudden that's who gay people are to people back home, because they don't have many other out personalities. So it's tough to be who you really are.
And especially like if you just want to go out for like a night of fun, like we all get to, right, James? Am I right? Like last night I heard you were out karaokeing. But it's like, when do you get
the
to
story
be...
I heard, James.
Wait, what story did you hear?
Where's your wallet? Okay. But it's like every time you step out the door, you're that spokesperson. Like you can't go to a bar and tie a few on or get crazy, or you can't even probably have like a one-night stand. You can't be on Grindr because everybody knows you. That is so much pressure.
Let's go with that. Sure.
Let's see.
Oh,
it's like
we just
10
call
feet
it
away from
it's
you.
a torso picture is what we call those.
Oh, we all know your torso from modeling too, by the way. So when do you get to enjoy being you, and how do you do that?
Mostly when I travel. So what I try to do is I try to go somewhere totally obscure, where I don't know anyone, and hopefully they don't know me. And that seems to be why I travel to Eastern Europe a lot. For New Year's, I'm going to the Redneck Riviera. I'm going to go through Mississippi and Alabama. Road trip.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what that's going to be like. Anyway, but you guys have to check out his Instagram, which is Omar Sharif Jr., because you catalog a lot of moments from your life, the big important parts, and then the fun being you parts. And I travel with you, and it's so great. And Matt, you with Pink Banana Media, you've literally traveled around the world at LGBT conferences talking about marketing. How does the gay culture differ from around the world? What are some of the biggest differences that you see?
Well, just the level of being out or comfortable. You see we sometimes we take for granted what we have here, and then when you go to a very first LGBT conference in India, you're amazed of first they're very appreciative that you're even there, but you're just amazed of the things that we just took for granted, that they have quite a long road to hoe.
Now, Omar, I think we all have an assumption of what we know what's going over in the Middle East and Egypt. But in looking at some of the facts and having you on the show, it's like, God, I didn't know that there was this whole regime shift. And that's actually when you came out. Can you describe what literally is going on with the government? How is the government controlled, and why there was this huge shift in this attack on equality, women, homosexuals? Like, what really is going on?
So there seems to have been two shifts recently. We had the Arab Spring and the revolution, and right after that, the Muslim Brotherhood came to power. They were voted into parliament with 70% of the seats in parliament, and everyone worried. They said they were going to be open and tolerant and inclusive. I didn't believe them, so I came out, I used myself as a litmus test, and I said, okay, prove it. What are you going to do to me? And we saw what they did to me. I had a fatwa issued against me, and I had to leave overnight, and I didn't go back. Since then, the military has come back to power in a bit of a bloodless coup, maybe a bloody coup, depends who you ask. And they've been even more intolerant to the LGBT community. In fact, over the past 3 weeks since a rainbow flag was raised at a concert with Mashru Laila, over 70 people have been arrested, tortured, had invasive medical examinations performed on them. They've been tried, convicted, and they're now in prison. And what's worse is a bill was just recently introduced in Parliament, not only outlawing LGBT behavior, before it was just described as inciting debauchery, and now it's actually illegal to be gay. It's illegal to wave or wear symbols of the LGBT community, a rainbow flag, anything like that. And it's also illegal to be an ally of the community, to speak out in favor of LGBT people, or to have any media representation of LGBT people, whether that's in news media with positive stories or entertainment. So it's a huge crackdown that's just happened very recently over the past couple of weeks. And so it's very discouraging.
In one of your interviews, though, if any positive message comes through, is that you're still proud of being Egyptian. You're still proud of where you come from. Not that we're going through that drastic measure here, although on some parts we are here in the U.S., but there's a different climate right now with the current administration. But we're still proud to be who we are. And I love that you're very proud of your upbringing. And that's still part of your makeup.
I mean, that's what I always say. When everyone says, you're shaming the country, I said, no, the reason I came out is because I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud to be Egyptian. I'm a patriot. And what's the definition of patriotism? It's giving your full self to your country. And that's who I am. I'm giving my full, authentic self to the country and in service of my country. Take it or leave it. That's the only way I know how to be a patriot.
Now, Matt, are you seeing, because you teach businesses how to market to the LGBT community and how to grow response on social media as well as sales and things like that. What have you seen difference of in the last year?
Actually, there's a lot more passion in the industry. There's more happening than because of not only the current administration but just everything you see and hear and read from what's happening around the world. You're finding a lot more companies, especially when you look at events like Out and Equal, National Gay and Lesbian Chamber. Their events seem to have a lot of company representation that's even more inspired and more passionate to really make sure that we don't go backwards in some of the things where we are. So it's been a positive so far in that context.
Well, it's funny. This show is never really political. We don't get involved in religion, but we've had to lately because our listeners, they want to talk about it and they want to hear what our celebrities have to say about it and advice on how to work through some of the feelings that we have as Americans, whether which side you are. It's like there's so much feeling happening. I think that's to your point. There's a lot of passion, and what do we do with all that passion? Omar, what is your biggest advice for the LGBT culture right now, right here in American history?
That's really tough. I don't know. That's a tough question. I don't prescribe to know what other countries and nationalities or people should do. That's some sort of counter-colonialism, I suppose. And I'm not going to tell Americans what they should do or how they should behave or what they should believe. But just be authentic and true to yourself and fight for what you believe in.
Yep. Yep. Now, in Egypt, you were kind of like the Kardashian Kennedy family type. What was your view of the U.S.?
You've seen me from behind, haven't you?
Girl, we've all seen you from behind. View is mighty nice. Anyway, no, but what was your view growing up about the U.S. and our culture? Because you had some connection to it because of your grandfather and his Hollywood ties. What was your view of our culture?
I loved it because I pretty much grew up watching American media. That's sort of what we got in the Middle East. if we were going to watch anything in English. And so while I didn't have out LGBT role models growing up, I did have shows like Will and Grace, I had Glee. They taught me that I wasn't alone, that different wasn't bad, and that there was a community out there, even if it was thousands of miles away, that understood who I was. And since I didn't have that in Egypt, it was great to be able to see that that existed in America. And I sort of always saw America as that city upon a hill, the eyes of all people upon it, Sir John Winthrop's vision. And hopefully America always stays that way, because you're a beacon of light and hope for the rest of the world, a shining example, and that's what we need you to be.
Now, being a socialite in Egypt, you probably went out and partied and all that. How did you keep your sexuality secret? Were you able to date? Were you able to have a boyfriend?
No, I was mostly dating women, I suppose, and
lucky
Lebanese
those women
singers.
are like, woohoo.
I don't know about that. I mean, and when I would travel, I would go to places like Mykonos and stuff like that. So I was able to be
where everybody's gay.
Something like that.
Even the straight people are gay in Mykonos.
Yeah. I mean, the first person I ever dated was in Mykonos. It was really hot one afternoon, and some guy came up to me and offered me an ice cream bar. And long story short, we found out what I was willing to do for a Klondike bar.
And a Tootsie Roll. How many licks does it get? That's so funny. Who offers a gay man like a dessert?
On a beach.
I'm going to Mykonos. I get offered Slim Fast. I want to talk about your acting. I want to talk about The Secret Scriptures, which was your last film. But you also did...
Second to last film.
Second to last. Well, you did a short film.
Yes.
Yes.
That's out right now.
Yes. Where can I see it?
You know what? Right now I'm hearing it's getting a little bit of award buzz. So hopefully...
Back to the Academy Awards.
Something. We're hoping.
But you also did a series in Egypt, which really put your name out there as acting. And I love the quote that your grandfather said is like, I gave you my name, I gave you my looks. Acting is all on your own. When you were on set for the first time, do you remember what that experience was like? Is like, well, I kind of have the name to follow through. Did you take acting lessons? What was your whole approach to acting?
So I got a degree in performing arts at the Lee Strasberg Institute.
Oh, is that all?
Something like that, yeah.
Is that all?
Something like that. But when I was growing up, when I was much younger, actually, my grandparents used to put me on sets during my summer vacations because they were always busy working. My parents were working. And they sort of said, your family over the summer is the family on set. It's the director, it's the crew, it's the production, it's the other actors. Good luck with that. We didn't have summer camp. We didn't have stuff like that. So that was what I did. My grandfather once told me he dropped me off, I think, at the age of 8. And he said, Sharif's work, go to work. And 8 years old, I went to set and I made my first film, and that was that.
Well, and your grandfather was such a hard worker and so revered. And you got to go to the Academy Awards with him, the Vanity Fair parties. I mean, who gets to say that? You know, and then be a part of it. I love some of the stories that you shared about your grandfather and the close bond that you had. One of the funniest stories that I've heard is when you were young and there was like pies in people's faces, and like it was like classy but fun, and there was a lot of storytelling going on.
Yeah, no, he was awesome as a grandfather. He really knew how to play with children like they were children. And no matter what age I was, he played with me at that age. So whether I was a kid and it was my birthday, he ordered 2 pies and shoved them in my face. It's like, okay. Like you said, classy. It was at the Ritz-Carlton, but he was awesome. And when we were older, we were going to casinos and racetracks together. And so we always had a good time.
Well, and there's something to be said about being a gentleman now, especially nowadays. There's so few gentlemen out there. And classic Hollywood, I just love classic Hollywood. That's why we have a lot of the classic Hollywood stars. There's just a difference. There's an energy difference. There's a manner difference. Like, I still let women go on the elevator first. And it has nothing to do with me trying to be misogynistic or anything like that. It's just like manners and class. But this positive message that you continually share, Charlene, I want to talk about you a little bit, because not only did you lose your parents after being a caregiver for your mom, then you lost your home in the Northern California fires. But why are you always smiling? Like, are you high, Clary? Like, what is happening?
I mean, well, what else am I gonna do? You know, like, after a while, when you know, one of my friends is like, sometimes life just kicks you in the teeth. And, you know, after the 3rd or 4th kick, like, what else are you going to do? I've already cried. I've already gone through, like, all of the, you know, lower emotions. And, you know, I've got, you know, grief fatigue. and I don't like occupying that for too long anyway. So I want to be who I am, and I like to be happy. So it's like, yeah, that's going on, but I want to tap into what makes me feel good. So there I am.
And music has been a part of your life because music is in your family.
I learned singing from my dad. He was, I mean, you know, a little girl sitting on his lap, you know, getting his scruff and singing. Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
Brooklyn.
Oh, cool.
Brooklyn, yeah.
She's a Brooklyn girl.
Brooklyn girl.
I tell you, all those memories from that New York night that we had are just like coming back to me.
Yeah.
We had so much
I
fun.
do have to give a shout out to the Caribbean, though, because that's where we're from. That's where we're from. But yeah, I grew up in Brooklyn, born and raised in Brooklyn.
I want to say, just because I'm from the Bay Area, and I lived in Sonoma for 7 years, and Petaluma, and I was born in Santa Rosa.
By the Snoopy Museum, by the way.
Yeah, that's where I was.
I'm
I
the
was in
biggest
Santa
Snoopy fan
Rosa.
in the whole wide world, by the way.
Every single person that I know basically was displaced in that fire, and I do know a couple of people that also lost their homes, and it's just my heart's been hurting so much for all of them. And it was literally the day after I got back from visiting up there and seeing my friends and family that the fires really started, going.
Yeah.
So I
Thank
feel
you.
for you.
Thank
a
you.
lot.
And, I was fortunate in that I happened to be out of town. Like, I was living in Santa Rosa, but I happened to be visiting in Washington State. And I was gone for 2 days. And then I got a call from one of my housemates saying, it's 1:30 a.m. He's like, hey, I just want to let you know, because you live here, we're making a run for it. There's fires. And I was groggy. I was like, what's happening? The next day when we connected and I could actually speak and comprehend, they were traumatized. They had to run in their pajama, whatever, and just make a run for it down the hill, because we were in the sticks. We were up on a hill, remote area, and it was raining fire and ash, and, they had to dodge trees that may or may have fallen in their way and trapped them up there. So it was a pretty traumatic experience, and I'm fortunate that I wasn't there. Like, when it was time for me to go home, there was nothing to go home to, but, they've, as well as everyone that was there, they experienced the trauma of it, and, it's total devastation. The place looks like bombs were dropped. And people are still dealing with it. I mean, it's a month or so later, a little over a month later, but it's still fresh. It's still fresh, and there's a lot of recovery that needs to happen.
And you recover through music. I mean,
I do. That is
I
my
love it.
therapy. That
like
is
right
my
away,
therapy.
the smiles there. This is like the most somber episode we've ever had in our lives, by the way. James, I wanted to talk to you about coming from the Bay Area to LA, because you've been part of nightlife in both areas. And also, what I love about you and your persona, because you have a definite persona, the line between masculinity and femininity is so murky, which is I think where our culture is going. Straight men are wearing their suits so tight, we know what religion they are, like, right? It's like, right, and they're caring more about their hair, and right, it's like, it saves time. Can I marry you or not? Yes. But you in part of your performance and part of like who you are, you really dance between.
So I grew up, and I know we're not going to delve into religion, but I grew up in a very, very conservative religion. I was raised a Jehovah's Witness.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, and
You're the best in bed, by the way. I swear.
Me too.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You guys, this is like a circle of, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, you guys, this is what
But it was, for me, I remember when I was younger and wanted to try on my mom's heels, and it was like, no. And I remember when my mom told me that I was walking like a woman when I was like 14.
What does that even mean, walking like a woman? I've seen plenty of women that don't know how to walk.
Walking, heel toe, like I was wearing heels on a runway. But I didn't even know what that looked like. I was just doing it naturally. That was naturally how I walked. And
Your little light in the loafers.
Yeah, there you go.
That term. That's like a 1970s, 80s term from Palm Springs, light in the loafers, yeah.
But anyway, so I had to, I re-taught myself how to walk, and then it was just, I was very, put a lot of, layers on top of myself to hide how I really felt until I finally did, make the choice to come out. And when I made that choice to come out, I knew exactly what was going to happen. And that was, I lost everyone at that point. Everyone that I knew, everything, and I was on the streets on my own, had to figure things out when I was 17. And so growing from there, originally being extremely uncomfortable, with myself and just being open about myself over the years, going through relationships and breakups
But that's the hardest thing about dating is like, how do you go through dating when you don't even feel good or confident in yourself? It's like impossible.
Exactly. And that's why, the relationships I was just looking for love, and I let a lot of things happen and a lot of myself go in order to just try and figure out that. But eventually gaining strength through music, through performing, through meeting some incredible people within. Yeah, I know. Thank you, Alexander.
We literally just met.
But no, and then getting involved in the drag community with, Ash Wednesday at the Abbey and Ray Latre.
Who's been on the show many times.
Yeah, well, I know.
We have to censor every time she's on the show. It's like beep, beep, beep.
Seriously. Yeah. But she's amazing. My community in Hawaii, I was living in Hawaii for 6 months when I reconnected with my dad after not seeing him for 7 years, and I got involved in the drag community there, which was like a whole blur of things that I had never seen before, where it was like there was no real gender identity with a lot of these people. And
Hawaii is like the Sri Lanka for gay people. It's like a paradise, and there's people don't even really care what you do.
Yeah, and that's amazing. So then bringing that back and literally just going through my phases of figuring out who I am as a person and becoming comfortable, and then finally realizing that in LA, coming back here on my own, being single and really just attacking my dreams, that the answer to success in what I want to do is literally uninhibitedly being myself and not caring about the normals, not caring about what.
But you can't take that to the bank. I mean, let's be honest.
You can't. That is true. And I still, I'm working a regular job as well as these other things, but it's within the last couple.
When do you sleep, by the way? You're posting Instagram pictures at 3 a.m.
I know.
Not that I'm a stalker, but still.
Sure, you aren't. I have certain days that I've set, where I know I need time off. So I have like my Thursdays blocked out from everything for now until something else fills that in, because it will. But yeah, keeping busy is actually, it's really important for me to keep the ball rolling, keep the motivation going. But literally just being myself has allowed me to find opportunities, and it's like being here right now. It's just one of those other little miracles, I guess.
But just say we are sharing such messages of optimism and hope. Like I don't even know what the title of the show is anymore. No, but I love this, and this is what the community is, and this is what the community needs. Is like to tell our stories, like you were saying, but. I did snag a little video of you singing, and this was recently, and I want to show you from this little person over here, this singing. Singing. He has a very quiet voice to begin with.
Tired of living life on the merry-go-round. And you can't find the fighter, but I see it in you. So we gon' walk it out and move mountains. We gon' walk it out and move mountains. And we'll rise up, rise like the day will rise up. Rise unafraid, we'll rise up to 1,000 times again. We'll rise up high like the waves, we'll rise up in spite of the ache, we'll rise up to 1,000 times again.
That was, like I said, I literally stole that, so... but this was like out at night, and we know because I'm a singer too. Performing late at night, and when there's people talking, sometimes it's like, what am I doing here? Like, what am I singing?
That was something that I was actually extremely happy to be able to be involved with, because it was a Queens That Care was what it was called. It was put together by a couple of drag queens that wanted to do a fundraiser and donate the money to direct relief of people that suffered from the earthquake in Mexico and the hurricanes and everything else. And so it was literally, we donated all of the proceeds to that, which, I mean, it was $500 and something we raised, but it was something. And it was awesome to be able to sing that song and dedicate it to the people that were suffering. And yeah, it means a lot.
Music is just inspiring. Music and performing arts. You also have a big part of the nightlife.
I do. Now I do.
So how do you balance that, working on your music, dating? Like, dating in the nightlife is pretty impossible.
It has been extremely impossible. I mean, I've been really just trying to focus on myself and doing as much to develop myself so that I have something full to offer someone. And also, I think the more that I've paid attention to taking care of myself, the filter of the people that are involved around me, it's become, a lot tighter.
That's what happens. Like, when you start to develop yourself more, you lose people along the way, and it's sad, but sometimes it's necessary. It's like,
yeah.
And that's like, it's when they say it's lonely at the top, it doesn't mean like you're the most rich person or whatever. It just means like you are the most confident, because people, God, we're being so like emotional here. So let's lighten things up. I want you to tell me, because I'm a huge mistake maker in the nightlife, because a few drinks, you go to the bar, you're like, woohoo. What are the biggest no-nos when you order a drink or when you're like talking to your bartender?
Don't leave your drink alone in West Hollywood.
Honey, I put my own stuff in my own drink. I'm like, good time tonight. Oh, now Chris woke up.
I mean, know what you want. Don't be picky. It's West Hollywood. You're gonna know. I mean, ordering a drink in West Hollywood is pretty straightforward. You say what you want. Generally speaking, they're gonna know. Don't expect to have a shaken cocktail most of the time when you're going out. If you're gonna go to that kind of place, like, choose that kind of place and know that you're gonna be paying $18 for your drink.
Well, and let's face it, the bartenders in West Hollywood are there to look pretty and make the most. They're not gonna know what a Manhattan is or an old fashioned.
Exactly, they're gonna just be dumping about 4 ounces of liquor and then topping off with an ounce.
For me, it's 8 ounces.
Yeah. But
who doesn't know? But to your point, like, who doesn't know what drink that they want? Like, you
would
what you
be
drink.
surprised. Well, especially when you have I mean, we obviously, the community thrives off of tourism and off of people coming from out of town. And
Bachelorette parties.
Literally, that has been such a big topic of discussion within West Hollywood lately. But
And we're supposed to be inclusive, yet we're inclusive to a certain point. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, and I think yeah, everyone's there to have a good time. Just know that everyone behind you is also there to have a good time. So if you are taking up too much of the bartender's time, there's a problem. You want to have have everything ready to go. Just try and move things along. Don't spill your drinks on people if you can.
Baby
help
craving
it. Yeah, but I for the most part, I've seen, some people, there's the occasional person that gets a little too drunk and they get into fights. And
Why'd you look at me? I don't get into fights. I get into loves. And the next time I'm like, what?
And then you wake up the next morning and you're like, oh, who is
And your wallet is stolen. Am I right?
That, you know what?
When you told me your wallet was not there, I'm like, And then I heard you were out at karaoke.
That wasn't the same. Never mind. You know what? You don't need to hear the whole story. Save it for a later episode.
Omar Sharif Jr., we got a lot of emails about your acting style and what your approach to a script is. When you first get a script, what's the first thing that you do, and what is your process up to the point when you get on set for the first day of filming?
That's a good question. Number one, I never say no to anything, to any role that comes my way.
Don't say that. You're going to get so many web series pitches after this. I swear to God.
Never say no to anything that pays.
How much, though?
No, so I just look through the script. I read it over. I try to find the nuances in the character, because I don't like to play anything too straight. I don't like to play it off the page. I like to go in with something that's totally unique and what people don't expect on day one. And that's actually probably because I'm not the greatest actor. So sometimes it's best to be different and good.
No, I've never heard that on my radio show. Why would you say that?
I mean, maybe it's growing up in the shadow of a screen legend and one of the best actors in the world. You always compare yourself to them, and I know I don't have that level of talent. I'm fortunate enough to be a working actor and to get a lot of work and to do what I do well enough. So I'm just grateful for the opportunities that I have.
Now, The Secret Scripture, and you guys have to see it. Not only is it a powerhouse cast, but it was very special for you in a lot of different ways. Tell our listeners what the story is, because it's
sure.
Here.
So it's directed by six-time nominee Jim Sheridan, Oscar nominee Jim Sheridan. And when he called me up and said, I have this role for you, will you do it? I didn't even see the script. I didn't see anything. I said, I'll be on the next plane. When does it shoot? He said, after tomorrow. So I got on a plane. I flew to Ireland. Didn't have a script. Yeah, to Dublin. I downloaded the book on Kindle, and I was like, well, I'll read the book and see if... I don't even know what role I'm playing, but I'll read the book. And it sort of tells a story about a woman that was put into a mental institution by the men in her life in the 1940s. Back in that day, men couldn't get divorced in Ireland, so if they wanted to get divorced or leave their wives, they just had them committed, and the women had no recourse or no action. So in the 1990s, it took till the 90s to close down all these institutions. They're trying to figure out who's actually insane, who's become insane from being in a mental institution for 50-odd years, and who's totally sane. And this woman played by Rooney Mara at a young age and Vanessa Redgrave, and there's a lot of going back and forth.
Just think about that casting for a moment. With those two actresses playing the same character, just boom.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
They were both unbelievable. And they're trying to figure out exactly what the story was and why she was put where she was, and sort of tells the story of Irish history through her eyes, kept in a mental institution. And I show up at the end and sort of pull the story all together and sort of explain.
Daniel O'Brien.
Daniel O'Brien.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was incredible. All my scenes were actually with Eric Bana, which, what a hunk.
Well, and we have a picture of you and Eric Bana.
I want to say this.
It's there, Chris. No, but it's like, because you guys just being like... Well, and Eric Bana goes from being like super, super hunk to being like the normal guy. Because you standing next to Eric Bana, I'm sorry, he's like,
can I be in the scene? 6'3", giant. Each one of his legs are like, I don't even know, bigger than my whole body.
Yes, we know you're skinny Omar Sharif Jr.
All the pictures were there.
No, that was, yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah. We'll find it. But the energy on set must have been very unique.
Yeah, it was. It was one of the last few days of shooting, and it was special. My grandfather as well had a really small role in it, and it was the last film that he ever made. It was more of a cameo than anything. And so it was, he was with me on my first film, and then I was with him on his last. So it sort of went full circle.
Wow.
In that way.
I never get emotional on this show, but when I was finding out more information about this
there we
film...
are. I see us down here.
Yeah. When I was finding out information about that, and it was like, yes. A lot of the themes in who you were playing were the themes that were happening in real life, such as... your grandfather being on set, and we know now that he was suffering from Alzheimer's. My grandma is suffering from dementia for 8 years now. And what it does to the family dynamic, what it does to the day-to-day is unfathomable. And the fact that, yeah.
It was really tough. I mean, at the end of the day, while he was on set, even if I wasn't in the scene, I was there as sort of a caregiver as well. So... And when we did have a couple shots together, I was at one time playing a character, but at the same time knowing I'm his grandson and I have to take care of him because it was really the late stages there. And we were just trying to get whatever shots we could. He had agreed to the role during a particularly lucid day, and then by the time he got to Ireland, there was not much there anymore of him.
But what memories and what a great... What a great moment in cinematic history, and I'm telling you have to watch this film because it's beautiful in so many different ways. And I just love the stories of you and your grandfather. I think it's just okay.
I'm like,
you guys, the show is like,
ow,
and you get a car, and you get a car. We're like Oprah all of a sudden. but watch the film because it's just great. And I
I think
honestly,
it's already on iTunes. I think it's already
it is.
Yeah.
Do iTunes?
Please watch it.
Because I was going to say, I need a. This is what I'm doing with my night.
No, do it. You'll be in tears. You'll definitely be in tears, especially knowing everything that was going on behind the scenes. And I'll be honest, I didn't know about this film until I was doing research for today. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it went through a bit of a rocky road because it was being distributed by Relativity Media, and Relativity filed for bankruptcy, and it got stuck in the bankruptcy protection, and so it couldn't be released for some 2 years. Finally just got released about 6 months ago. Now it's on iTunes.
So some fan emails.
Uh-oh.
You speak many different languages.
Mm-hmm.
Which language do you enjoy speaking the best? And which language sums up your thoughts the best? I thought this was a great question, by the way. I was like, God, why didn't I think of that?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
So I grew up speaking I speak 7 languages, but that's because my family's been really mixed and I traveled a lot as a child growing up between multiple countries. I would say because I watch media in English, I'm most proficient probably in it, even though Arabic or Hebrew are probably my first languages and languages I speak the best. But I just express myself better in English emotionally. So I would say that. I would say English.
This is me. What is your religious view?
I don't know that I have one. I think culturally I subscribe to like different elements of all of them. My mother is Jewish. My father is Muslim. My grandfather, Omar, was Catholic and converted to Islam. So we would still do Christmas and Easter, though. So I don't know. We would celebrate all holidays, but more the cultural aspects to them.
This is just so fascinating. I'm like, more. We also got an email. What was it like rehearsing for the Academy Awards scene with Kirk Douglas?
That was incredible. So I don't get starstruck ever. But when they said, we have something that we want you to do with Kirk Douglas and not to meet Kirk Douglas, I got a little nervous right away. And he showed up to rehearsal the day before the Oscars, and he just said to me, he had just had a stroke recently. He was 93 years old. God bless him, he's still doing well. And he said, I'm not going to follow the script. I'm going to improv the night of. Just go with it. Whatever I do, just go with it.
And how do you say no to Kirk Douglas?
I was like, I don't think
Grandpa, we're not going to do that.
Like it. I was like, I don't know. The Oscars, 1 billion people watching live. I don't know that I really want to improv and just go with the flow with you. Walking with the cane and I don't know that we could do this.
But you really interacted with him, and when somebody's on a cane and it's Kirk Douglas, I was like, but you committed to the character.
Yeah, I mean, we had fun. We had fun doing it, and it was a great moment. I really enjoyed it, but I was nervous.
So you did end up doing improv.
We did.
Wow.
We did a fake mock fight over his cane. But only after he stole the show and went on for 7 minutes making fun of audience members. It's like, where's he going? And they're signaling from the back of the stage. They're like, get him off, shut him up. I'm like, I'm not going to shut him up. It's Kirk Douglas.
How do you do that?
Shut him up.
No pressure.
Yeah. It's like, shut up, Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway at the last. Oh, God. You've branded the family name in such a great way that it transpires so many different generations. Matt, I want to talk about branding because branding is such a general term, right? And that is your specialty. So when somebody says branding to me, it's like, you have to brand your radio show. I'm like, oh, God. What now, sweetie? Right? Like chocolate bars with a name on it. Chris has to go to the bathroom, everybody. Yes.
About to.
What are the top things a company or an artist should think about, like branding? What are the top things that we should do to brand ourselves?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there'd be a lot of answers for that. In fact, when I'm up there on stage talking about how companies should market themselves and pursue the LGBT market, I always say there's a lot of right answers. But in this case, in this situation, we're dealing a lot more with, it's a merging of public relations and content and social media. So it's a very different perspective than it was years ago when everything was very textbook, where branding and marketing, you would go to school, you would learn exactly the I think they called them the 4 Ps, and everything was all about. There's a certain science to it, and now that's why the word authentic gets thrown around out there a lot, because now it's just real people doing real things and putting themselves out there. And what happens is that a brand or a company has had to learn to let go of a lot of the things that they used to think that they were in control of. So what is a brand? Well, a brand now is very much part of public domain, public society, where people determine whether it's through their Instagram photos for what they're posting on Facebook, or what the company is doing with the people that they work with, or the people that represent them. All of that is now incorporated into kind of this new version of what the brand is, if that makes sense.
So what are the first steps that a company should take?
Yeah, well, I mean, when it comes to branding, it's just, I always even go back to...
That was fast, Chris. Did you wash your hands?
I did.
Good.
It just is... before all that, it's what story do they want to tell? They have a message they want to get out, and the question really becomes, how do they do that? Who do they want to reach, and so forth? And then from there, everything kind of falls into place as far as how they're going to be able to kind of translate that into how they present their company to the world.
I'm thinking of Omar Sharif condoms. They come in like original and hummus flavored. I don't know.
This is such a different direction.
Did he say?
Yes.
That's
Well,
a brand.
Spock Lube would totally help that.
Wait, did you say homeless or hummus? Hummus flavor. Okay. I was like, when you were homeless?
Perfect. We needed to lighten that up.
We like hummus.
Yes, yeah. Well, and to my listeners, this is a little bit about On the Rocks. We always are just like crazy fun. This has been really emotional and on so many different depths, which I love. This is why we have gay, straight, in between, trans, fans, everybody. So I want to know this for my personal self. Is Facebook going away?
No, I don't think so.
Here's the thing. I used to post on Facebook and it would get like shares and blah, blah, blah. Now artists that I'm interviewing don't even post on Facebook anymore. It's like, I need to tag you.
Yeah,
so people are saying, well, Twitter is, I still don't understand Twitter. As many years it's been around, I'm like, I only do it because of the show. I never would log into Twitter and retweet something or anything. They're saying, oh, Instagram and Snapchat. Can't stand Snapchat. I don't care what you ate today. Like, I really don't. I can barely eat to keep my figure, and I want to watch you eat something? No. Right? Or see naked men all day, because then I get desensitized, and, well, I don't really send Snapchat.
But how do you promote the show on Instagram? I mean, because they get to see the photos, they see it. But
I tagged you. You didn't repost. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right.
One thing, I mean, because I've been paying attention to it now, getting to know.
Well, that's kind of like the socialite life is how many likes?
Which it is, but the thing is, what I've already mentioned already was, and he mentioned just now, is branding, individualism, being yourself becomes such a more cool thing. Like, that is what people want to see. That's what people get interested in. And the more that people realize that, I mean, obviously there are people that have 50 million followers that don't really do much original anything except put on a bunch of makeup and try and be pretty.
There's some shade going on here, because I think we're talking about the same person.
No, but no, being individual, and then also it's what you want to. What do you want to do? How do you want to represent yourself or your business or your company or your idea? Like, for me, I do my Instagrams. I don't post every day or twice a day or at the specific time.
But I think you should post twice a day.
That's what they say. That's what 2 times a day, every day, different content. You post around 6 o'clock when everyone's off of work and they're checking their Instagram.
Oh, I don't pay attention to times because.
I'm just saying there's a lot of things, and then there's the people that are on the Snapchats. And I mean, Facebook, like I use Facebook for personal. That's like my personal thing. And then I just have, if my Instagram gets...
It took you like 3 days to answer my message.
No, because if I do an Instagram post or whatever, it goes to my Facebook. And then if I post on Instagram, it goes to my Facebook and my Twitter, because I don't really use the Twitter either. The Twitter.
It's like
look at me not sounding like a millennial.
So Matt, what is the future then?
Well, no, but you were saying, and so like with Facebook, I tell people it's been great training wheels. It's a great way to get started, but. I mean, even my mom is now. I mean, she's great on Facebook now, and she used to try to figure out, like, why are you guys doing this? And she's a great grandmother now. She'd hate for me to say that, But she's a great grandmother, and she's on it because she wanted to see her great grandkids growing up.
Exactly.
And that was a big part. And then she learned, and next thing you know, that's the number one way she stays in touch with me is through Facebook Messenger.
And I think now for the older generation, it's really becoming that vehicle. My question is, if Facebook were to all of a sudden blow up, we would lose. I was grown up with like photo albums. You had this photo album for this year and this year and Christmas, and you had these boxes. Our photo albums now are virtual.
Yeah.
What if something, God forbid, were to happen and all of those pictures get wiped away? We would have no physical proof. Say, I'm famous, sweetie, right?
But Facebook is essentially like the small town in that sense. It's like a Main Street USA. Because the biggest you could ever be is 5,000. And you go, well, that's a lot. But at the end of the day, and it's
like a fan page.
But the fan page, nobody, who's going to see it? Who's going to see the stuff? Because Facebook has said, if you post it on, and fan page, that ages all of us, because now it's kind of a business page, but it's gone through these iterations. But at the end of the day, Facebook wants you to pay them to be able to get that message out to the audience. Now, they're really good at that, though. So you can craft an audience and say, I want to reach people in LA that have a specific interest in either my show or my types of shows or competitor shows. And you can reach them. That's phenomenal.
So you think Facebook ad buys are relevant?
They're probably one of the best. They're probably one of the best when it comes to target. They're the most, they know more about us than anybody else does. So if you wanted to use big data and say, I'm going to try to reach that same audience with banner ads and so forth, no. Yeah.
Google AdWords.
Well, Google AdWords.
Google AdWords.
Yeah,
that was Chris. You're in radio. You should talk into the microphone.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Google AdWords.
Google AdWords. What's about
God.
that?
It's this.
I don't know what to do. Like I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah.
It's the same. And I'll try to keep it as easy of an answer, but it's just Google AdWords. Google doesn't know as much about us. Facebook knows our interests, so it knows that you have interest. You want to travel to Puerto Vallarta,
and Facebook listens to you. By the way, one time I was having a conversation as a joke about girdles. Girdles. I'm a husky man, and then all of a sudden on Facebook, all of these girdles for men popped up. I was like, how dare you?
Yeah, but it's that's where if it took me days, or if I never even saw the Instagram you had done, but I did see your tweets, and because that's the whole thing is that what you're seeing is that Facebook was at training wheels, but Twitter is like the big city. Twitter, and for most of us, they say, I don't get it. I don't. Everybody has to get there in their own way, but it's like it's noisy, it's busy. But once you kind of get into it, you start to realize it's where things are moving over into.
Well, and as a performer, Omar, like you have a fan page, and you have the Facebook and all that. We don't have time for that. We're busy doing what we're doing. We don't have time to do all of that.
Yeah, but you just have to prioritize, where you're going to put your time. And so, like when you talk about, you post it on Instagram, that's going to go into Facebook and Twitter. We're probably kind of wasting your time in that sense. Because what happens is that when you go from Instagram to Twitter, it's a link. Nobody really sees it. Most people look at Twitter as like a dumping ground. They just throw the stuff over there, and it's like, hey, if somebody sees it, great. If not, but there's a lot of people that are because it's structured as a language to it, and there's a lot of people that are really into it. A lot meaning millions, and you're seeing businesses and people. They're at Pride festivals. If you're at Pride and you take photos and you post them on Facebook, my friends are going to see it, but it's like a silo. So I'm speaking to the choir. But when I put it on Twitter, and I hashtag it just right, connect it up to the Pride Festival and so forth, all of a sudden you have the potential to speak to a lot more people. Okay. And as things are kind of progressing and as it continues to grow, you're finding that those people have, whether it's individuals or it's the Advocate doing a story about the kind of rehash of the Pride Festival, or it's even like New York Times coming out. They're all now on a much more level playing field where people are gravitating towards this stuff. And so kind of what we're doing is helping companies try to navigate all that and figure out, like, how do I fit into more of the Twitter sphere than anything else? Like, I promise you, it's taken off like wildfire right now.
It's super dangerous, though, because I don't know, as a person that was just using Twitter, the other day I tweeted something about, I rarely tweet, about Transparent being such an important show for trans inclusion and how it needs to continue even without Jeffrey Tambor.
I just had this conversation. Sorry.
It became the headline of Variety that I called on him to quit and leave the show. And now I've been getting a lot of hate mail that I'm the reason he's leaving the show. And I'm like, no, that's not what I was saying. Yeah. But the tweet showed up on Variety, on The Hollywood Reporter, on the AP stories. And
no, it's not.
You're quoted. You're on the record.
I wouldn't call it. Yeah, I hear you, and I wouldn't call it dangerous. But the upside is that if you'd posted on Facebook, your friends would have seen it. And now all of a sudden, when you put it on Twitter, it's it's more real. It's more out there, and anybody can reach it.
But I also heard it on Facebook, and because I see the insights, people view, but they don't interact. They won't comment, or whatever. Like even when you posted, it's just so odd. It doesn't get that interaction on Facebook, but people are still seeing it.
Mm-hmm. Well, they see it, but what's the point? They're not even engaged, and they see. And Facebook is telling you they see it. They go back and forth and say, "Well, maybe we have misreported some of that," because at the end of the day, with that many people, with thousands of people seeing it, somebody's got to like it. And when they tell you that 5,000 saw it, but you had 10 likes, the math is off. With Twitter, the goal is, and this is where I get geeky at that point, but with Twitter, it's 10%. You're always shooting for a 10% engagement rate, which only means 1,000 people see it, 100 people should like, comment, share something.
Oh, we don't always get
10%, but if you get 5%, well, that's like you get a C. You get a score of a C on your paper.
But I just hate this that we as artists have to think about this, because it's like, let's just be famous and fabulous.
Yeah, but it's really there. But everybody's going to get there in their own way. But we're seeing. That's why it was. I love Instagram. It's fun. You can look at all the photos, but there's no call to action. So like even when you post something and tag me, it's like I can't Instagram it.
Yeah.
I can't.
Oh, yes, you can.
They created Repost, which is a separate app, and then you have to go into that app and copy the link and do all of that. I think the reason I just like it is the I don't know
you repost a lot, by the way. And you post a lot. But I love it. I like every single thing that you do. Because he tells a story from him being professional to him being in, not even drag, in like emo, Hot Topic makeup or whatever.
Well, no, it's because that's become my story. That's become my story, is it does show all the different aspects of my life. And like you go through and you see, I cook. I was auditioning for MasterChef. I cook all the time.
It's all vegan food.
It's now vegan food.
We don't allow vegans on the show.
Very recently vegan. Excuse me, Rhea is a vegan.
That's why she's such a bitch.
Right now.
Yeah.
Now,
Omar,
I need to know, does Chris use Instagram?
I do.
He has 5 pictures.
5 pictures.
4 of them are from the show.
Your beard deserves an Instagram account.
Yeah, marijuana.
That's awesome.
What did I tell you?
I'm more of like a Facebook dude that is barely using Instagram.
It's-
Shit, I'm still in the show, Alexander. Oh my god, bro.
Weed is vegan, by the way.
Yeah, I do that too.
I know your beard
Why
is
do you
awesome.
think this show is so awesome?
It's just the kind of beard you want to sit on. It's like you have a perfect beard.
Well, hello.
What do you mean sit on? No, it'd be bristly and...
No, it looks soft.
Oh my God, you guys.
Tea tree.
This is on the rock.
Argon. Like, come on, man. Moroccan.
Eucalyptus.
We could do something.
Okay.
So, Omar, this brings us back to another fan
He
question.
wants me to get off because...
No. I love when you participate.
I'm the star. Get off, Chris.
Oh, I get so many emails. What did Chris wear today? I'm like, are you kidding me? Chris, he would be a bigger part of the show. But literally has 5. And he has a huge crush on Joanna Cassidy. And she said that, yes, it probably will happen.
Wow.
Blade Runner. Your dating life. Where do you find men to date? Because we know that you're a bachelor. And what would be a great first date for you? I got so many emails about what would a good first date be for you.
Good first date. I like going to see movies as a first date. I know that's weird. Everyone says that's
But I
super
love it too
weird.
because somebody's opinion on a movie dictates who they are, right?
Yeah. And I mean, even if there's no chemistry, and there's something to be said, you can feel chemistry sitting next to someone. I don't know, not being able to talk to someone, you kind of know if you're interested sitting next to them. Are they going to hold my hand?
Doesn't that mean superficial, though?
No, it's just the energy between you two.
I think it's a little superficial.
And it's in the
'cause
dark.
It's all about looks.
No, it's in the dark. Right?
In the dark. You're watching something and you get to see if they are they going to laugh, are they going to cry, are they going to feel nervous? And no, I agree with you actually, because some of the best experiences I've had getting to know somebody that
You're still single. Just so you know.
I am
So am
single
I.
Are they gonna keep on
I
asking
am single
questions?
by
Like,
choice.
what's happening right now? Like, are
By
they laughing?
choice.
Like,
Thank
why
you
is
very
everybody
much.
laughing right now?
Fine,
by
we'll go
choice.
see a movie. Let's just go.
Okay.
Oh my
And
God.
just like
this is
that.
not the first On the Rocks relationship, by the way.
No, but then you have some talk about afterwards. You can both talk about the film. And
See, I think it's the after when you can communicate and discuss the film, because I love talking about film so much.
I just hate talking about myself, I think. And I think on a first date, it's very uncomfortable having to share stuff about myself.
And let's be honest, people come to the first date knowing so much about you, and they want to ask those same questions. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little hesitant always to share too much of myself in person. So I think a movie's a great first way to just skip that and just see.
But
Find
there
something
has
else
to,
to talk
let's
about.
agree, there has to be the after date.
Or the after the movie part of the date, which would involve maybe go get some food or have a drink afterwards and discuss the,
one drink, James.
Yeah, just one.
But it's a vibe too. Like you can feel energy bouncing off of somebody, even if you're in the movie. And so, like by the end of the movie, you can know if they're
something
freaking
right now.
Me too.
Oh, wait a minute. Can I talk about when she was like, "I'm going to be sitting next to Omar Sharif Jr." I can't. Did you not say that?
I did say that, and I was very encouraged by another friend of mine who I have to say, he fainted when he saw that I was gonna, like, not fainted, but like just fell. He's like, "Oh my God, you're gonna be there with Omar Sharif Jr." Yeah, so
I actually got a lot
excited.
of women emails.
It was a man friend that was very excited for me to be sitting next
All right,
to you.
well, I'm single. There we go.
All right, so what is your type? What is your type from head to toe? Because I've seen you photographed on so many red carpets. Were they your dates for the night? Were they? Have we ever seen you with somebody that you've been dating?
Maybe. I was dating someone for 6 months last year.
Not with that platinum blonde hair, right?
Platinum blonde hair.
Oh no! Why?
What? He's the most wonderful, sweet, sensitive, intelligent person. It just didn't work out. It's a bit young for me.
What do you think? Quick question. What do you think about the whole type thing? Because that's a question that gets asked a lot. I've been asked a question.
Yeah, but when you guys talk about type, it's a whole different thing because you guys are younger, fit. Blah,
No,
blah,
but
blah.
but what I'm saying is that like the type is. I feel like it's just like that's part of the whole. Like the.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to
The,
say.
the
Well,
gay.
we can talk to Matt because Matt has dated a few times.
Because I've dated every kind of looking person from all different age groups and backgrounds, and it's literally it's individual case by case. Like I've dated a 5'2" boy, born and raised in Mexico. I've dated a 6'4".
There's nobody
half
Mexican
Latin.
very tall. No.
Well, I'm just saying, I've dated a lot. Like it doesn't. It's not about the look. It's not about where they were born or their background. It's about their personality. That's how it hits me. But
Let's
other
be honest.
people-
That's not 100% true.
no, because obviously there are things I find attractive about people. Yes, but I'm just saying in general, it's not a type. It's not like, oh well, he has to be this and this and that and that.
But let's be honest, we're all attracted to certain things. And you can't tell your body to not be attracted to something. But I think it's funny when, like, you guys, I love shit because
You really can't tell your body not to be attracted to something. It just is.
No, but we have like
That's
two
true.
fit guys talking about like types, whatever.
I'm just I don't mean okay. It's not about my body being attracted to someone. Like I'm just saying that the specific like type where people get real down and narrow, and there's like this is my perfect man or whatever. I don't see that.
That's what our imagination is like fantasy, and then that's what
My fantasy changes every day, though. Is that just me? I mean, I don't know.
But we're living in the grinder world now, with no fats, no fams.
Yeah,
no
you can
this,
literally in a second. No,
Yeah,
no,
but even
no,
if
no,
you're
no.
physically
I'm not
attracted to
on
somebody
Grindr.
and then they open up their mouth and then it's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's like it's just like it's not
Yep.
you're not limited to like
And
you
it's
have
only
you
like
have more than one filter happening at the same
Yes.
time.
You're right. It's only like 3 dates after that. Charlene,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask you
What?
to sing again.
Okay. Right now?
I want to send this message since we're sending so many messages today. I'm like, I feel so uncomfortable. I was like, I've never been so serious on the show. But for Thanksgiving is hard for a lot of people. People that cannot be with their families, families that don't feel included. I'm telling you, if you have a good friend, call them, text them, whatever, because that is your family. And so we have another song by Charlene. And then when we come back, it's rapid fire.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, this song is called Know Enough, and it's just about trusting yourself. I know enough to know I don't know much at all. Now how does that saying go about pride before the fall? I'm biting my tongue here instead of speaking my mind. 'Cause if I say what I'm thinking, my words will be out of line. So I take a quick moment to clear my head before I say something that I never should have said. Another quick moment to catch my breath, 'cause what I'm feeling right now, it's got me on the edge. On the edge. We're going over the edge. Out in the unknown, all of a sudden things are crystal clear. Uncertainty has shown definitively how to be aware of all the things we have outgrown and shed off just like a second skin. Feeling light up on my feet again, getting to get to be free again.
That's my girl, Charlene.
Damn girl.
Damn girl. Play that picture again. This was 10 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
So we're all posing for a picture. Look at me. I'm sucking down my drink because I think it was last call. Do you see that? It's literally everybody just.
Wow.
Yeah. 10 years ago.
Yeah, that red jacket, that's gone. That was my favorite jacket. So I look at old pictures and I was like, oh, I don't have that anymore. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. All right. We just got this question, so we're going to do this, and then we're going to do rapid fire with you two.
Oh.
So this last question is for everybody. It was said, we're pretty busy, so how do we take our private moment for ourselves, and what is it that we do in our private moment? So I will open it up so you guys can all prepare. Mine is literally watching Real Housewives. If I'm working till 1 a.m, I will still watch Housewives because it'll help me sleep better. It'll give me me time. I know it sounds probably so gay, but it's what I do. That's me time, and there's nobody else in the room sometimes, or they're asleep. James, because you go from working a full-time job to the nightlife.
Yeah, exactly.
To losing your wallet.
By the way, will you stop mentioning? I swear it got stolen. I didn't lose it. Working at and especially this job, which is opening up a brand new restaurant. It's called Bar Verde, by the way, because I promised my general manager. It is not vegan, actually. It actually has really
still winning the fight.
Really amazing food. It's farm to table. It's good, and it's on the 3rd level of Nordstrom in Century City at the new mall. So
that's so inclusive. Awesome.
No, I'm just letting you know it's cheap, actually. Believe it or not.
At Nordstrom?
There's wild Alaskan king salmon on the menu. That's $23.95. Go to any other restaurant and try and find wild Alaskan salmon for that price.
I hate salmon. It's just so.
Salmon à la nage.
How much is the burger? You can take me to the Ritz-Carlton, and I'm going to order the
burger. The Bar Verde burger is $14, I believe, with the fries on the side, and it's 20% dry aged beef. It's delicious as well. They don't have those. They discontinued those at this location for some reason. I'm sorry.
What was that term you just used? Kind of aged what?
It's 20% dry aged beef.
Only 20%. Is it like the round edge?
No, as
that means they left it out too much.
20% of it.
That means they charge. That's the extra charge.
Anyway, to answer the question.
But no, literally, what are they talking about? 20%.
Shameless plug for my restaurant.
20% dry aged beef.
Dry age. Do you not
Which
know what dry?
20%?
Let's change my grinder profile description. 20% dry aged beef.
It brings out the robust, dark flavors of the meat.
I want the Omar Sharif Jr. comedy hour because
Yes.
it's there, girl.
Yes,
it is definitely
it is
there.
so there.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm very much a sit and watch Netflix and just like chill and eat, make myself some dinner, make myself some popcorn.
Vegan though. Yeah.
Leave me alone on the vegan shit.
It's so annoying. All right. How do you take your personal time? Because you're not only traveling and deal with different time zones, you're dealing with so many different personalities with vendors. And we know gay business owners can demand a lot of energy. My sponsors, I love you to death, but don't text me.
A lot of energy.
Just wherever I'm at, but even when I'm at home, I'm spoiled because I have Central Park in front of me, and so I'll actually when I just
Life
want
is tough, isn't it?
Take me with you.
So I'll just take a walk through there, and it's a great it's a quieter part of the city and the park because it's on the northern side.
So our tip is take a walk through
Take a
Central
little-
Park
Take
while you're
walk
living in
through-
a penthouse.
Take a walk through the park. No, I don't live in a penthouse. Just a nice little spot in Harlem. Or I'll just watch, or I have a nice little, my mindless TV will often be, History Channel.
All right.
History Channel has changed now, and now it's like ghosts.
Well,
and,
yeah.
like,
I don't watch
yeah.
that stuff. I don't know.
Okay.
No, no swamp people for me.
Enlightening stuff.
Yeah.
I like to take walks in nature and be around trees. I was up north, and it's like the redwoods are there, and then I went even further up north, and I was in the old growth forest of the Pacific Northwest, and it's just there's just this nice hush, and everything's soft and green, and giving life, and it's just nice to be in that and absorb the good vibes from the trees.
P.S. Linda Escoval says you're a star, Charlene.
Linda, hi, Linda.
You speaking my language, like taking walks through the trees. I mean,
Charlene is such a star, but like I have to tell you something.
Tell me, please.
Like
You just
I'm
gotta
going to
East
be
LA
totally
by-
insensitive.
Like
I'm going to be very insensitive.
That's okay. I can take it.
I mean, with your story, you like the walks, you're in nature, you love the trees. You told us about your parents. I'm so sorry. And then the fire. It's literally the story of Bambi.
and I'm Thumper,
Literally,
right?
I'm like, I don't know if it's copyright infringement.
But I'm
Is it
Thumper with
true?
the high voice and the loud foot.
Yes, my niece, when she was a little girl, she watched Bambi over and over and over again, and her parents said, "Okay, you're watching too much TV, and you can't no more Bambi." And so then
It's
I remember
literally the worst movie ever.
No, but she came,
The
so I
worst
came
movie.
home.
Sad.
This is how much of a politician she was at that little girl age. I came home one day and she's like, and she had a lisp. She's like, and we called each other Tanty. Tanty Tharlene, do you want to watch Bambi run through the meadow? So she invited me to watch because if I was watching, then she could just so happen to be in the room. Yeah,
So cute.
yeah. So that's Bambi's cool. It's not I mean, look, there's Bambi pictures. Yeah.
But it ends happy, right?
Yes, so the
Always look for
story's not
tomorrow.
over. I'm just in the middle of the story. It's not over yet.
Yeah,
so
it's
all
a
good.
you know what if anything, what they say is what rises through the ashes.
Totally.
It's
But you guys, it's so and like you guys have been through the rung of it. The toughest thing I did was when Sizzler said no more cheese toast, and I was like, oh my god. But like you guys have been through the rung of it, and so struggle is a different term to you guys.
It's life. It's normal
It
at
is-
this point.
It is for a lot of
At
people,
this
and
point.
it's the thing is that the people that go through the struggle, honestly, they end up becoming some of the greatest or the most
Christina
talented.
Aguilera
I don't
singing.
know greatest, but
Whitney's.
grateful.
A grateful-
You
well,
appreciate
it's-
the
it's
highs.
definitely
Did you see?
grateful.
He's such a great spokesman. He just turned that.
No,
yeah.
because it's what
That's
I
a
mean in
meme,
that
by the
is
way.
that there's people that have they've been born with fame, but they never created real art because they never had anything to teach them what
they weren't
real art
expected
was.
to. And your whole journey is so different, where art was expected and encouraged.
Yeah. Very
The struggle makes you
interesting.
stronger.
It
I will
does,
say that.
for sure.
Yeah, but you say that to somebody that's homeless, and it's like, okay, now what do I do?
you get strong and you figure it out.
You
But
find
wait,
something
hold on.
you find passion. You find something to express something. I've seen people that I've sat with on the streets that are currently homeless that are creating art that was some of the most beautiful stuff that I've ever actually witnessed. Whether it be playing music or finding garbage to put together into a piece of art, and they do it for themselves and someone that appreciates the struggle, they see it and it means something to me, and it taught me a lesson. It's going to teach someone a lesson.
You find
It's the
things to
best
be
thing you could
grateful
do.
for. Like when everything's gone, then all of a sudden, well, not even all of a sudden, but you just notice things like, well, that's pretty cool. I like that. Like that's a cool thing. It's anything. You can find gratitude in a lot of things, and that's part of it.
And that's your On the Rocks Thanksgiving special.
Well, no, but I'm getting messages, and so yes, I'm getting so many messages, which means we're ringing true. I have to say, this Thanksgiving, like, not to be so deep, but if you feel alone and you're going to a friend's house, your friends sometimes are your family, in many, many, many times. So do not feel bad. And if you're lonely, you can message all of us.
Any
right?
of us. I will be there. This is going
Oh,
to be
honey,
my
you'll be in a lot of different houses
things.
on
No,
Thanksgiving. That's not even
honestly,
what
I have been because I didn't get to celebrate Thanksgiving growing up, and you understand that too. My first Thanksgiving was at multiple houses, and it was like so magical for me. But literally, my family, people that I have that are so close to my heart, my best friend Maria. Oh, shout out to you, Maria. Mia. I have her tattooed right here, her nickname that I gave her.
You told me you had my name tattooed on you.
I just, you know what? If you get to that point, it's going to be in a completely different area of my body. But no, it's very true because your friends, you end up making your family, especially when you lose family in one way or another at some point, whether they pass away or whether you have differences that separate you coming out or different religious beliefs or political beliefs or whatever.
Well, I'll tell you what my mom and I are doing, because it's my mom and me and my grandma that is in advanced stages of dementia. We're ordering McDonald's, and we're going to watch the worst movies ever made all day long.
I want to okay, either you need to do a live stream or I want to be there for that.
Oh, there'll be no live stream because my mom would be like, all right, rapid fire. We have to wrap it up. Who wants to go first? Omar or Charlene?
Let's go together.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
We're
just
teaming.
gonna go.
We're teaming up.
You're going to make me connect the dots.
Yeah.
Omar Sharif. I got this email so many times. Your celebrity crush.
Oh, Zac Efron.
Charlene.
I got a lot of judgment in the room. I thought this was a no judgment zone.
It is
A lot of
Oh,
judgment.
I never said that.
judgment free.
Charlene.
Yes, sir.
If you were going to record your dream duet, who would it be, living or dead? And I actually got this email.
Really? My dream recording? Oh my gosh. Well, I have two answers. I mean, like, because he's dead, I grew up with Prince. That's just, oh my
Why does
God.
everybody do that? I'll be honest.
Prince, man. Prince for Prince. But alive, and he's also my celebrity crush, Amos Lee, because his voice is like magic to me.
Amos Lee, I've never heard that name before.
That's okay. You will.
So let's tell our listeners, Amos Lee.
Who is he? He's a singer-songwriter out of Philadelphia. But, he's...
Can we spell it?
Yeah, Amos, Amos, which happens to be my dad's first name, actually, too. Last name Lee. And
Lee.
Lee. Yeah, and he's got this magical voice that I just love. I never tire of hearing
I've never
it.
heard that.
Well, now you are. I'm exposing.
But Prince,
it.
I have to say, like, I didn't think it was...
Well, you know,
That's just me.
Alexander, I won't judge you for that. I won't hold that against you. You won't lose me as a friend.
All right, it's rapid fire. Omar.
Yo.
I got this email, too. Your biggest pet peeve.
Ah.
That was funny.
People who are rude to waiters.
If that's a first date indicative. Did I
Yeah.
just make up a word?
Seriously,
Indicative?
let me
Hate
tell
that.
you.
Charlene, title of your book.
Purple banana.
I was thinking Purple Rain.
It's a
Omar,
pretty
your
first
dream
version.
co-star.
So tough.
Huh?
That's such a tough question. I don't know. Goldie Hawn.
Ooh.
Oh.
Shade.
Charlene, most embarrassing song on your playlist?
Frozen.
Let it go. Let it go.
I listen with pride. I don't
No,
know.
I mean, I actually said Frozen because I was frozen and couldn't think of anything. But I'll go with
we
that.
all jumped to
No,
it.
I was
will go
no.
I
We're
will
not
go
gay
with
or
that.
anything.
We're not very good at this rapid fire.
No, we're not. I'm not rapid or firing.
Omar Sharif,
Yep.
we're 10 years in the future. Who's going to play you as a young person in your movie?
Zac Efron.
I could actually see that. Charlene, worst fashion trend that you fell victim to, and you have done many fashion trends.
Oh gosh, pedal pushers.
That's like the high waters?
Yeah, but like they were like knickers. They were like knickers.
Omar, last TV show that you binge watched, that you didn't leave your house, you just watched the show.
Will and Grace.
The new season?
No, I'm rewatching all the old ones right
Oh,
now.
okay. Just had to ask.
Okay. Charlene, your least favorite song?
Baby songs. Any song that has baby repetitively in it. Like, and there are
Like
a lot of
baby,
them.
baby, oh. Baby,
Yeah,
baby.
Baby
There's
got
so-
back?
No, I was thinking Justin Bieber, sorry. baby.
You know,
That's business,
there are
though.
there are lots of baby
You guys, this is On the Rocks. We were really emotional, so thank you so much for sticking with us.
We were authentic.
Yeah, this is probably like, yeah. All right, I don't even know what to say because it's like, oh, you guys, let's all give a hooray to the show and to our listeners because I get emails from so many different states. Whoever you are, and Omar, why don't you give this toast to whoever you are, whatever city you are in? What's your
Okay.
message?
I'm going to fill in the blanks. It's like
Yeah.
Mad Libs to end the show.
Because I don't usually get this way. I'm like,
Wherever you are, no matter who you are, know that you're perfect and wonderful and beautiful. Enjoy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family, the family that you're born into, and the family that you made amongst friends. Cheers to everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers. Here, here.
We'll see you next Tuesday. This has been On the Rocks with Alexander, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Universal Broadcasting Network. Find me on Facebook on The Rocks Radio Show. Tweet me or Instagram me at On the Rocks On Air. See you next Tuesday.